Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about balanced forces and unbalanced forces and the difference between the two and how they relate. So basically, a force is defined as a push or a pull, okay? And there are basically two things that can happen with a force. Either the object doesn't move or the object moves, okay? A balanced force is a force that is equal and opposite, and therefore the object does not move, okay? That is a balanced force. It is equal and opposite, and therefore the object the force is being applied to doesn't move. And that could be discussed in a number of scenarios. For example, I am pushing the board. The board is applying a force that is equal and opposite to me, so I am not going backwards, and the board is not going forward. Now, you're probably wondering, well, the board is an inanimate object. How is it applying a force towards you? Well, it is applying a force against me, which is the reason why I'm having a hard time pushing it, or more to the point, pushing the wall behind it. Okay, think about taking a water bottle or any object and placing it on your pillow. If you took a piece of paper and placed it on a pillow, probably wouldn't do very much to the pillow. But if I took a bowling ball and placed it on the pillow would sink. So the force between the paper and the pillow is equal and opposite, but the force between the bowling ball and the pillow is clearly not equal and opposite because the pillow was moved, okay? It sank. Okay, so an unbalanced force then is a force that results in motion. So the force between the bowling ball and the pillow is an unbalanced force. Okay, so the way a balanced force looks is if you have, and the unit for force, by the way, is newtons. So let's go ahead and write that down. The unit of force is equal to newtons, and that is abbreviated capital N. So if you have a balanced force, let's say you have a force of 10 newtons being applied in this direction on, let's say, a ball. And then you have a force of 10 newtons being applied in this direction on the ball. Well, this ball is not going to move. Now, the thing about forces, they're called vector quantities because not only are you looking at the magnitude or the size of the force, but you're looking at the direction in which the force goes. So this force is going to the right, so it is moving in the positive direction. This force is moving to the left, so we're going to say it's moving in the negative direction. So this is 10 newtons plus negative 10 newtons is equal to 0 newtons. Okay, so the net force is balanced because it equals 0. Again, up is positive, down is negative, right is positive, left is negative. So basically, when you're using the negative sign, it pretty much is showing the direction of the force. Okay? It doesn't mean it's a negative number, it just means it shows that the force is going in the negative direction. All right? For an unbalanced force, so let's say 10 newtons is being applied in this direction on this ball, but 5 newtons is being applied in this direction. Well, 10 newtons plus negative 5 newtons, because it is the sum of all of the forces, but this is going in the negative directions, means we are moving 5 newtons in this direction. Okay, so the force is unbalanced. It's going to result in movement. Okay, so that's the difference between a balanced and an unbalanced force. Okay, forces don't only come from left and right. or up and down. They could come from northeast, southwest, okay, in all kinds of directions. And depending on what direction they're coming from and what the counterforce is, you're going to have either no movement or some movement depending on how much of the force is being applied and in one direction. So I hope that helped a little bit in terms of understanding forces. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will go ahead and maybe update this a little bit further. But for now, this is just basically understanding the difference between a balanced force, which results in no movement because the net force is 0, and an unbalanced force, which results in movement because the net force is not 0. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.